Boom.
What's happening?
Nothing much. I'm moving, Ed. That's what's happening.
I think we told the folks maybe last broadcast.
Well, we're finally doing Friday is the last day, so we're going from a big house to a very small house. So
And what happened to your other house?
sold it to my daughter,
Yeah.
who has our grandchild.
At a steep discount. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we made her an offer she definitely couldn't refuse. So.
When did your wife tell you did that?
By the way, hubby, we're moving. How's everything for you?
Things are good, man. Business is great. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But
Well, you said you had your granddaughters over.
we had all four of them this weekend. It was like super cool.
Oh my God,
they just made a wreck of everything, and we give them anything they want and send them back home. And their parents are like giving us
What
the
did you
death
do?
stare.
Being a grandparent.
Anything
love
they
it.
wanted, they got it. So
Love
it was a
man.
blast.
Hey, by the way, so Ed's question here is today's national talk show host day. Who is your favorite? Come on, put in the chat. You got to have somebody. Somebody has Tucker, Dan Bongino.
Of course, I picked Phil Donahue.
You did pick Phil Donahue. Why would you do that? I don't know. Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert. Okay, Jay Leno. God, totally forgot about him.
He's the guy
I
that had
like
the big
him.
chin, right?
Yeah, he has a massive chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the cars, too. He got the cars.
He's got the car collection. All right.
There's
Somebody needs-
Mackenzie. There comes Jerry Springer.
Fire Mike McKenzie. Fire him now for putting Jerry Springer. Like, who would put that?
Mike McKenzie would.
Justin goes, Jerry. You've been watching the show too much, man. Holy buckets. It's probably young.
Jerry Springer.
I used to watch. I got to admit. By the way, I'll say this. I only watched it when I was traveling and in a hotel room.
Because your wife wouldn't let you watch it when you were at home.
It's like a guilty pleasure. You're like, all right, let's see who else is worse in society than me. So
He was the mayor of Cincinnati.
that's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
Like he was the mayor. They voted him the mayor.
So he must have been smarter than he let on. Could that be true? I mean, he's like, by the way, nobody put Geraldo Rivera. What's up with that? Maybe that was too old. That was too way back when. I like Jon Stewart. I love Jon Stewart's humor. I'm glad he's back.
He's smart as hell. Or smart as heck. Sorry.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's smart. He's smart as hell.
Yeah.
He has this insight, but he also has this like comedic timing. The last guy I didn't like, whatever, something Noah.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm talking-
I
wasn't
don't watch,
feeling-
as you know, I don't watch a whole bunch of TV.
Yeah.
But Dennis Miller back in the day I thought was really good.
Oh my God, that is a good one.
that,
Dennis
that
Miller.
dry humor.
Yeah.
Who else we got in there? Nobody else posting
no,
up there?
Nobody else.
Come
apparently,
on.
apparently, we're the only TV junkers here. Everybody else is
Unbelievable.
going, I don't know. So that's cool.
Maybe they just want to get on with it.
John Oliver?
BB has
I like
left.
John Oliver. Good one.
BB has left the library. He's in his car or something. I don't know.
Really?
You see BB there,
Yeah,
Bergeron?
let me see. Who
Remember,
is
he's
out
usually
there?
in the office. Who else do you see out there?
Sergio Vargas looks serious. He looks like he's closing a deal. I think he's closing a deal because he had that look like, yeah, I got something going on. Victor.
Kevin Tinsley always got that good background.
Yeah, I don't like Mike McKenzie, so I'm just going to skip over him.
Is he in there?
Just-
Do you see,
he's in there.
did he put his
He's
picture
in
up there after posting that?
Is that Brian Zeck or Zell? I can't read that from this far. He's off to the
A lot
left.
of camera shy folks today.
Yeah, that's okay. Trent North.
Where's he at?
I like that. That's a cool name, actually.
Conan O'Brien.
Trent
There's a
North.
little blast from the
I like
past.
that. I like that. Lorenzo Alba.
Mark Fry
Lorenzo
looks like he's
Alba
in the
looks like
office.
one of those old dogs. Just go in there, I close deals, Victor. I knock him down. Is that true, Lorenzo? Give me a thumbs up, man.
Alan Johnson,
There it is,
he's
man.
looking like he's disinterested.
That's all right, man. Let me see. We got Alberto Vasquez. Get your camera right, man. You're all off center, man, with your mustache.
Ryan
Get
Braddock
in the
looks
center,
like he's
man.
far away. Oh, there he is.
Roy
Is in the house.
Allegado in the house. We can now start this thing. Yeah, we're going to see how Roy did this. But I'm looking forward to see how Roy did. I like Roy. I don't think he knows I know that I like him. I generally like him.
I love Roy, but
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You got
man.
yourself in trouble
Yeah.
with him a couple
Yeah,
times.
Yeah,
You got yourself in
I've got
trouble
with him. Jaime Rivero in the car with the hat.
Nice.
Gotcha. Got the seatbelt on. Way to project safety, man. I love that, man. Boom.
Outstanding.
All right, so
Mackenzie's looking very distinguished, isn't he?
Who? Mike McKenzie?
For putting down Jerry Springer? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to class it up. By the way, we got a school over there, a group over there.
Where?
Jim Kruger.
Oh, yeah.
Jim
Jim,
Kruger.
he's out in Arizona.
Yeah.
He always brings his group. As you know, I love when we bring all the branches, when they get them in the
Yeah.
branch and they do this as a group.
Who's that? Jenny. How do you say your last name? Jenny Schlurley?
Put that in the chat.
No, Schlurl.
She's saying it like we can hear
Oh,
her.
yeah. Yeah, you're talking like we can hear you. We can't hear you. I got the first name right. You get. Yeah, open her
open her mic.
Yeah, I wanna
Open
hear
her
what
mic.
she- Go ahead, Jenny. Hold on, Jenny. Go.
Here we go.
Stormy's got some issues again. Hold on. We're gonna hear this last name.
Stop it.
Okay, now.
Go, Jenny.
Surely.
What?
Shirley.
Shirley?
Like
Shirley.
Jenny Shirley?
Shirley?
Man, mute that woman. Just mute her. Just get her off the line. That's worse. I should have gone.
All right. Now that you got me in trouble forever and a day, let's get into some content.
Let's
What do you
do
think
it,
we do
man.
that? That's enough. That's enough looking around. Let's start with sharing some numbers, right? And what I did, rather than give you the totals for September, I thought it was timely to kind of give you an idea where we're at through the first 9 months of the year. You know, we're in that fourth quarter. You know, like the football teams, when it goes to the fourth quarter, they all stand up and put the four fingers in the air and say it's time to finish the year. So that's kind of where we're at here. But what I want to do is share where we're at year to date through those first 9 months, because it's spectacular, quite frankly. And I'll start with residential pest control sales. OC3, they sell about 72% of our residential pest control sales, and they are up 6.5% year over year, which is just outstanding. The other great news is they are having the best month they've had all year here in October. They're up like 16, 17% year over year, Victor, right now.
Nice.
So they're smoking it. So that's gonna, they're certainly playing for the fourth quarter, right? And that represents $196 million.
Oh,
The one little blip we have on our radar. I'm talking to my folks out there in the field, my HSIs and my Orkin pros. Our field sales generated, our residential PC sales generated by the field, be it our Orkin pros or our HSIs selling some pest control out there to these customers and bundling the mosquito service or the GPC, are 2% behind last year. That's the only category we're missing at in this whole company, and we've got to get that fixed. To give you an idea, it's $77 million, and when you think about residential PC sales, too many times we fall into that trap saying, oh, it all comes from the call center. But at the end of the day, 28% of our residential pest control sales, that stuff that just keeps this company humming, right? That gives you all these places to go, that represents 28% of what we do. So we've got to make sure that we stay focused on that and pick that back up. You know, hopefully, I think, you know, the way that the numbers are running this month, maybe we're picking it up and getting an increase out of it, but that's where we need some help. We need your help. So all in all, when you roll it all together, the company sits today through 9 months at a 4% residential pest control sales increase, and it's $273 million, Victor. It's crazy. It's crazy.
that is crazy.
$273 million. Moving to what these folks sell the most of, which is the termite-related kind of things. Our traditional termite is up through the first 9 months, 7%, represents $102 million. That's the drill it and fill it and the old standard termite, you know, kind of traditional termite treatments, along with the fumigation business. Our bait sales, you've all done a good job on this. So, you know, up until last couple of months, we've been running a decrease in termite bait, and we've been harping on that as we've done these broadcasts over the last 6 months probably. You've turned that around. We had a great August and a great September, and we're tracking a really good October right now. Our termite bait sales year to date through 9 months, while they're not where we want them to be, we're in the black, and we're at 2% year over year increase, which is outstanding, and that represents $53 million. Our ancillary sales, those are the ones that have continued to lead the way, are up 27% year over year, representing $144 million. You roll it all together in a big package, Victor, we're talking about a 15% year over year increase on $300 million in termite-related sales. What do you think about that?
That's incredible numbers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you just look at them as percentages, like 15, 4, but you start, those are real numbers when you start adding them up.
Oh, I mean, we will sell $1 billion in pest control-related sales this year. Just bonkers.
Well done, well done.
You know, another good thing to look at is our mosquito sales. Our mosquito sales are up 12% year over year. I think we can do better there. I'm convinced we can do better. I talked to Tim Tarantello about an hour ago, and he and Jeff Steele are convinced they can do better in mosquito sales. And our field folks can do better in mosquito sales than we've done so far.
Was there a target number for this year, Ed?
There was a revenue number of 15% that Pat challenged the field with.
Okay.
And we're getting close to that.
Okay.
We're
Finger
not
to the
there
wind. Like we're at 12, 13, what are we at?
We're about 13.5% revenue-wise.
Okay.
Because that's been building for a few years. So
Okay.
there's a good chance we can get there.
Right.
You know, kind of tends to tail off, you know, this time of year, certainly in November and December
That's
around
still
the
a big
country.
number, though.
It's crazy.
That's a huge number.
It's $70 million. Yeah. $70 million in mosquito sales. And when you think about it, Victor, probably, I don't know, maybe 8, 10 years ago, like zero.
Yeah.
Zero
I mean, it's amazing.
mosquito sales.
That's like a whole new business born. Yeah.
Amen.
Well done.
And
well
same
done.
with this ancillary
Yeah.
stuff. So just crazy good.
Yep.
The wonderful news about all that, Victor, is that you can make a whole bunch of sales, but if you don't convert it to profit, it doesn't do any good. And the good news is, as a company, We are sitting on profit plan through the first 9 months with the pretty good runway getting out of here to end the year on profit plan, which is just, that's where you want to be. Uncle Pat is happy. Jerry Galoff's happy, and Mr. Rollins is happy with what you all are doing.
The big guy's happy.
Yeah,
the big guy.
So the earnings call is tomorrow. The Rollins, the Rollins earnings call that they do with Wall Street, that Ken Krause and Jerry Galoff lead. That's always interesting. If you've not listened to one of those, you can listen to it live, or you can get the tape version. They're intriguing.
Yeah, I think the way, and we talked about this, is that I love listening to earnings call because of the way they have to parse their language and say certain things certain way. Because again, there's Wall Street expectations. They're where you're going to come in, and you want to manage expectations for the next quarter. And so it takes skill and talent and / art to be on an earnings call and be talking. I think it's important.
And Ken Krause and Gary Galoff, they're pretty magical with it. I mean, because you don't want the competition to know too much. You don't want them to tell the real story that we're kicking Rent-A-Kill's tail.
You can't say that. We're kicking their backside.
We're punching them in the throat and cutting out their liver. They can't say that, right? But at the end of the day, it is an art, and I'm always intrigued by it. Because I get a little insight into the background on it. And I'm like, oh, they didn't tell them about that. Oh, I get why they didn't tell them about that.
They're holding certain things back.
Yeah,
I love
just
it.
makes sense.
Well, you got to also have something for next quarter, right? As you're bringing stuff out, rolling out slowly.
And again, if you're not familiar with it, I mean, if you're relatively new to the company, the stock performance of Rollins,
I was going to ask, how is this?
Just outstanding. I mean, it's pushed. I think it's pushing $50 today. And, the projection, if we do what we think we're going to do over the next 4 years, Jerry Galoff and Ken Krause have done some presentations where they think that stock will be at $75.
Nice.
And they just spun another dividend. They announced the dividend last night. It was a 10.6% increase over what it was last year this time.
Right.
So the dividend just keeps spinning and growing and growing. So
love it.
If you're not in the 401k plan, jump in it and
maximize that thing.
And because your 401k contributions are maxed with Rollins stock, and just outstanding. I don't know if you could have a better stock right now.
No.
The way that we perform with dividend and just the stability of the company.
Just the
because of what these
progress
folks
over
do.
the years. I mean, like I said, we talked about this on the side that I thought you guys were going to have the COVID bump, like a lot of other companies are having, which is after the first 2 years after COVID, 20, 21, 22, they're seeing a decline. But you guys are
these termite numbers. I mean, they've been growing. Like I said, we're at 16% when you load up 15% altogether. We've been doing that for even since COVID. So commercial, we were impacted by COVID a little bit because a lot of businesses shut down, right? And they didn't need the services. But when COVID hit, the residential stuff just spiked because people were home, and it's just continued.
But I think that's it. I think there's a residual of that because there's more hybrid workers, people still at home, which is why that sustainability might still be there.
Could
you know
potentially
what I mean?
be that. I think about our home office here in Atlanta. Well, I think we're on. I go in every day. I think we're on 3. Most of the folks are on 3 on and 2 off. Okay. Now they stagger the days, so you can't really tell. But it's just I don't know what it is.
Great numbers though.
And I think a lot of it is attributed to the bundling that these folks are doing. Some of the ancillary sales that's starting to take off, and you get in some markets where, maybe you got a region, for example, where you got 4 or 5 branches just slaying some of these additional services that we've introduced to the market. And even in those regions that are killing it, there's still 3, 4 branches that are out there that could do better, right? So so the upside there, as I sit here. And I think, I got to last so many. I'm not going to say how long I got to last before I get out of here, but there's a lot of headwind here. And please keep it going so I can walk out of here on top and just high five everybody on my way out.
On the way out. I was going to we talked to commercial yesterday, and I was blown away by your average deal size bundling number. That it's gone up like 25%.
25%. Yeah.
That right there is just a mind blower.
Yeah. And same here.
Yeah. Do we have a number for this group?
I don't have it offhand, but our average job price termite, because we don't really separate it out into ancillary. We do, but it's too deep a dive to understand. Just the general average termite job price is way up. We're talking it's 16, 17% above last year in a lot of markets.
Wow.
Just think
that's
about
huge.
It. Same number of sales.
Yeah. And you're getting we'll talk about this later, but we're getting less calls in, right? Less inbound.
Yeah, the demand is down.
Yeah.
Demand is down. And Jeff and Tim and those folks at OC3 they're clocking it. I mean, less coming in, and they're still selling more, right? The only blip we have is with the field sales.
Yeah.
Both the pros and the HSI is not selling it, but doing less with more because demand's down.
Yeah.
Terminex is in the market spending a whole bunch of money. A lot of that is driven, as we've talked many times, a lot of that is driven by spend. You can make that phone ring if you spend money.
Yeah.
But you got to have that responsibility that Rollins has always had and Orkin has had since I walked in this door in '83. We're worried about making money than we are making sales.
Yeah.
And so we control that spend, and where Terminix is all in, they're throwing money at this thing trying to make it grow.
Well, we talked about the fact that they may have a lot of inbounds coming in, but if their operational side isn't operating correctly because of the turmoil, integrations, mergers, acquisitions, whatever it may be, that creates a whole new dynamic. So it doesn't matter what's coming in.
Exactly. And that's the cool thing about all this is we are, all these sales that we've generated, we are on profit plan, like I said, for the year, and everybody's happy, and it certainly projects out that we will make profit.
Good numbers.
One more year and maybe 2 more years, and then I'll be able to go home. In addition to all those numbers, Victor, we've got, we had 31 of our HSIs cross that $100,000 paid on burial.
Yeah.
And we had 5 just incredible, stellar performances out of the OC3 team. What should we do?
Let's roll that video. Stormy, let's see the numbers.
Carson Ward going
Carson Ward.
for 200 plus K.
Has he been on that? I can't remember him being on that list.
He's new. Like he's a rookie. He's been here less than a year, but he was on that list about 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
And I think he led the list at that point in time.
Wow.
Again,
So less than a year?
Yeah, less than a year.
Wow.
First place gets $500.
$500.
Everybody else on the list gets $100.
I got an idea. I want to throw it out there. Wait, but listen to my idea. If you've been here less than a year you make the list, shouldn't there be like a sweetener?
No. No.
I'm just saying.
Here's why.
We got to encourage these young startups, man, to kind of,
They're getting paid 14% on this stuff. They're making 15 grand. Come on, you're trying to get in my pocket again.
I just heard your numbers for the profit. I'm just saying, we got a little bit of money there.
I got a boss.
Yeah, okay.
I got a boss. Thanks for all the help, Victor.
Okay.
Hey, no, speaking of the rookies, right? So on this list, Brandon Smith out of Ponca City, Oklahoma, rookie. Brendan Brown out of South Bend, rookie. Jerron Wethington out of Shreveport, Louisiana, rookie. Gary Beverly out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, rookie. Michael Vincent, rookie.
Hey, how are we defining a rookie? Is that less than 1 year?
Under a year.
Under a year,
Yeah,
okay.
Typically and not on the West Coast, we define them because you have to, if you're in California, you have to work here for 90 days before you can sell anything.
Okay.
Because they got them crazy laws.
So can we
out
call
there.
like 6 month super rookies?
No, we're not giving any more money away, Victor.
I just said call them that. I didn't say give them anything. I just said we can call them super rookies. 6 months.
Yeah, I'm
less.
gonna cut your pay. No, just really crazy,
right, great numbers.
crazy production. A couple things. Virginia with 4, Indiana with 4, SoCal with 3, Michigan with 3.
California's got a lot of people on here.
Oh yeah,
West Coast.
Tinsley was shouting out the
West Coast.
Shouting out the Pack group. Yeah, just outstanding.
But what happened? What happened here?
What?
I got an issue with. Look at the bottom. Roy Elegado, 100,000. He barely made it with $86. $86. Shame. Shame. I expected more from you.
What?
These are crappy numbers, Roy. Get them up there, man. You should not be at the bottom of the list. I have
That is
expectations.
so unfair. I think he left the call.
That's my man, Roy. Great numbers. And by the way, the call center.
How about
Shannon.
those? That's like 3 months in a row for Shannon.
What is she going to do this year? Like, what's her... What,
You know, like Jeff Steele can put it in the chat.
I mean,
She's
gonna
a
do
rookie too here.
Is she going to do like $1 million?
Jeff, put a number in there for her. I know
Yeah.
you're on the call. Throw that up there. What she's going to do. She's a rookie too. She came from True Green. She was one of their big hitters, and that's where Jeff came from, and he was able to recruit her over here. 6 months on the job. There he goes.
That's an Uber rookie. That's an Uber rookie right there.
She's not getting any more money either.
Chanel Dennis. I don't think I've seen that name before.
Yeah, she's been there. She's
Has
been
she?
there. James Justice is a new one to me.
Okay. Charles Davis.
Charles Davis and-
Teresa Mobley, always in the house.
Absolutely.
Great job. Call center. Great numbers, by the way.
Yeah, just
Fantastic
bonkers.
numbers.
But
Overall, good numbers.
I know we talked about it briefly on the last broadcast, but the Virginia region set an all-time region sales record in August. They sold $3 million in termite-related sales in the Virginia region. I mean, Forrester Pat,
many
I think it was like
people?
2 point. I think they got about 50 account or
Okay.
50 HSIs.
Okay.
Maybe not that many. Brad Ray
Right.
was on the earlier
Okay.
call, but the old record was like 2.6 million. I mean,
Okay,
they
so they
crushed
just
it.
crushed that. Just totally
Crushed it.
shattered that thing. Wow.
Yeah, and again, they had 3 or 4 folks on the list this
Yeah.
week, or this month, just bonkers.
I wonder what
they had
they're
one
doing
guy that
differently.
sold. Now we'll see. I know all of it didn't get work, but he sold in the month of, let me get this right, in September.
Right.
He sold 545,000
Wow.
in a really small branch.
Right.
So it all didn't get worked yet.
Right.
But it's going to take like a month and a half to get it all
How do
worked.
you get that many?
One guy. And
So
it wasn't like a big sale. You know, sometimes when you get these
Well, that makes
monster
it even
numbers.
crazier.
Yeah, I mean, I think his average job price was like 15,000, and he had a whole bunch of 20,000 plus bundles.
Really?
20,000 plus bundles.
That's about 10. That's about 20, 30 deals.
A lot of deals.
Lot of
That-
deals,
that
wow.
was the thing that when Corey Smith and I, his
Yeah.
DSM, were talking about it, was I said, what did he sell? He said, it's crazy. He sold a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Not just one
That's
big
interesting.
home
Okay.
run. What else on
Accounts-
there? Anything else?
No, great. Jason, I can't say that. Jakimowitz?
Yeah, out of North Carolina.
I've never seen him before.
Yeah, oh, he's been there on a bunch
Okay.
of times. He's been there a bunch of
Tim
times.
Law, Brian Worth.
Brian Worth.
He bores me.
What's he doing?
He's doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, listen to that turn.
Yeah, doing exceptionally well. Sam Boo's on here, but yeah, great numbers.
Ralph Jones is a new one out of Connecticut. That's the first time I've seen his name.
Saginaw, Michigan. Gregory Bill Hodges, man. So Nick Keekins out of Crystal Lake, Illinois. Got to shout out the Illinois boys there.
Amen.
And we got
Absolutely.
Kevin and Sam Boo. So yeah, great numbers.
Just
man.
outstanding. So
Well
just
done.
just great performances. I mean, just incredible performances out there. You know, collectively, again, just
Killing it.
31. I sent him I sent Victor the first video that we did in May of 2022, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. But when we did that, I went through the 100K club.
Right.
May of 22, which is season, right? That's
Right.
in season. I mean, that's
Right.
like peak season around most of the country. We had 24 people.
Okay.
And we had 31 this month. And
Wow.
if you remember back over the last couple of months, one month we had 68 people get paid on 100K. Paid on, not sold.
Yeah.
Paid on.
Something's happening.
Yeah, the money's
Yeah.
just getting crazy.
Yeah.
Money's just
Have
getting
you, and it's not. This is another conversation, but at the end of the year, you guys are going to break down some of the data, like why do you think certain things happen? Come up with some hypotheses.
Yeah, I think it's just them hustling. And,
Yeah.
and I truly believe this. And
Yeah.
we joke all the time
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. It's the adoption of the bundling and the understanding of it, and just getting a little better at it,
Yeah.
and really gathering a lot of new services. You know,
Yeah.
some of the stuff we're doing, this exclusion stuff, some of the
Yeah.
stuff we're doing with the ridge guards and all this stuff that we're doing is new to me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's relatively new. So that's
I guess I would like to see. I mean, this is me asking for data, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see inbound average close rates. They're going up. We're getting less leads. Average deal size, right? Frequencies of how many visits per day or per week we're doing, and then maybe number of follow-ups. All that data to see if there's anything in there that might be interesting.
So let me help you. So
Yeah.
between our broadcasts, I went into this culture index class that they're having over here.
Cultural index.
Culture index?
You went into a cultural index class.
I did, because they're teaching it. And Eileen, the lady that runs this thing, she just pointed at me when I walked in the room and said, that guy's problem is he doesn't like data. So you're not getting that from me.
Okay, you don't like data.
I
love data. I love data. I'm such a nerd.
I don't get it. So
Okay.
so maybe we can get one of them.
We need one of the analysts to come in.
So,
Yeah, let's do some data.
I'll let you go sit with them, because
Yeah.
they blow my brain up.
I love it.
We'll just leave it at that.
All right, cool.
So let's get into some content.
Okay.
true story. This is what happened. Victor and I did the commercial broadcast yesterday, and we left here all smiley and all locked and loaded for today's broadcast. And I got to doing what I do and sitting around and thinking too hard, and sent Victor a text message about 10 o'clock that said, scrap all that, here's what we're gonna do.
Right.
And I just wasn't comfortable with what we decided to do. And there's a couple reasons that it came in there, right? So the podcast that we promised you on the last broadcast, the terrific podcast that Victor did with Brian Worth and Celeste Curley, we didn't send to you. And there's no excuse, it's just a bunch of malarkey down here and finding the right channel to get it to you. So I'm asking for a mulligan. We're gonna get those out in the next 2 weeks to everybody in the company. You know, we sent one of the commercial ones out through some buried email that everybody gets buried email.
Yep.
So the frustration was there, but as I started to think about that, so we'll get those to you, so those are coming very quickly. But when we talked about them, we've talked about those 4 things a bunch of times collectively together. And there was a common denominator, I think, that came through in all 4 of them. And it was the fact that these folks are so invested in getting better.
Yep.
You know, when you listen to Brian Worth talk about, you know, Mike McKenzie pushing them to get out of his comfort zone and start selling more insulation,
Right.
you know, pushing them to get better. And they're actually tactically planning how they can do that better with role plays and all the other stuff. And it just resonated with Celeste, Brian Worth, Jordan Bosmany, and Albert Leishleiter talking about how they're so invested in getting better. And I'm started thinking to myself, again, I get wrapped around my own head sometimes. You know, we have over 1,000 home sales inspectors today. And when we did that broadcast in May of 22, the very first
Time
one,
flies, man. Time
we
flies,
introduced them to the Sales Velocity Academy. And you walked through a little production on how to get to it. So I'm sitting there thinking, when I watched that last night, going back into the archives, and I said, you know, we have 1,000 people now. There were probably only 250, 300 of them that had access to it back then. And we've sporadically gotten access to them, but we've never kind of dove through it again. So that's what I asked Victor to do, is take a dive through this. The first thing I will tell you is that we want to reintroduce it, and if you need access to the Sales Velocity Academy, you need to get an email to your RSM, and they need to send that to me, and we will get this buttoned up and get everybody back in. Because the way we've been hiring folks, Victor, we got 500 folks that, you know, we're up 200 200 home sales inspectors over what we had last year.
Wow.
So there's a lot of folks that don't even understand it.
Amazing.
So that's what we're looking for. So do me a favor and walk them through that, and then we'll talk about it.
Can we talk about the podcast first, just to
Let's
do a
do that.
recap?
Yeah.
So quick on the podcast. We interviewed 4 people, 2 commercial, 2 residential, and so Ed will be getting those out to you. Those are great podcasts. My job is to extract the best of what they do, their best practices. And if you can do me a favor, like right now, if you have somebody you'd like for us to interview or me to interview directly to be in one of the podcasts, go ahead and put it in the chat. We would appreciate that. Yeah. Now, so what we're going to do is talk about what is the Sales Velocity Academy. I'm going to try to do this in 2 minutes so you guys can get out of here early. Now, the Sales Velocity Academy is, again, a bunch of courses that you guys have access to. If you don't, if you're hearing this for the first time, welcome aboard. Let me go to the slides, walk you through what's in the Sales Velocity Academy. I broke them up into 7 dimensions, right? And let's say, for example, you were to do a self-assessment test. These are the 6 dimensions. By the way, the 7th one is having a positive mental attitude. But let's say you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What I want you to do is think about, how can I improve these 6 major skills? The first one is prospecting. In these courses, you got 10 courses rather, 93 videos. Again, if you're having a hard time prospecting, following up, I suggest you look at any of these courses in there. Number 2, following a sales process, using a sales process to be more effective. As we all know, salespeople who use sales process typically sell 37 to 47% higher than those who don't use a sales process. This one, Product IQ, again, it's all about not the product so much as positioning the value of the service and the product. One of the courses here I would highly recommend is Value-Centric Selling and Sales Conversation, 2 of my favorites in this category. Now, Persuasion, a big one. This category, I am going to suggest, Ed knows this already, if you wake me out of a dead sleep, says what is the one course that will give you the highest return on investment, biggest bang for the buck, that is blocking objections. The second course, make that your first one. I am telling you, if you implement blocking objections, you will see a change in your close rates. Pricing, again, how to position pricing, using certain strategies, but also, maybe even countering discount requests. So again, check that one out. Positive mental attitude is how do you stay positive? So if you go into a funk, how do you get out of that funk? Last but not least is presentation. This is key. When we're doing a walk around through the house, how do we talk to the customers? What do we say? When do we say? How do we sequence the conversation? Check out those. So imagine that if you were to rate yourself. So this is me, imaginary friend, being rated, and this is how you would do it. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and maybe your map's going to look like that. Then ask yourself, where do I need to focus? So let's say you say it's prospecting. Great. Here are the courses for prospecting. Let's say you go through prospecting courses, you get better. Maybe a month from now, you rate yourself again as a 7. You've gone up a little bit. You can kind of see the difference there. And that's how you begin to actually use the tools.
Yeah, and again, falling back on those videos, you know, on the podcast, these folks are superstars, right? I mean, they're superstars in our ranks. And they're grinding every day to get better.
The Jordan Bosman, he stands out the most to me because he was like, first of all, he didn't get hired the first time, right? And somebody told him, you're not going to be in sales, you're not that good, right? So quit. Then he got a shot again. I forgot who the manager was. And even when he got hired, finally, the person quit like 2 months later.
Yeah, no, 2 days after he signed on board, his RSM quit.
So he's got nobody. You have to watch this interview with him. And then he says to himself, he's got hate fire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna prove these people wrong. But one of the things I got from him was, man, that guy has grit.
Yeah.
In the essence of, you know, I just grinded it out.
Yeah.
And for almost a year, he was like getting nowhere. And he just hung in there. And today, his numbers are crazy. And that's also something you'll hear throughout, especially Celeste Curley, same thing, man. Single mom, just found her speaking style, found a way to actually get it done, and just found that comfort zone of selling. That also is a great interview.
Yeah, she shows up, and the homeowners say, "Well, when's the guy coming to do the inspection?"
Yeah. She's like,
That's me.
I'm the guy. By the way, she is so terse and blunt in that conversation. Some of the things she says, there's one part I just lost it. Because she made me laugh so hard. She is so direct. So you got to check out the podcast.
Amen.
By the way, available both on video and audio, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, those will get to you in the next 2 weeks. I promise you that we will get through all the red tape down here and fix that faux pas. I think the other thing I'd like to throw in on the Sales Velocity Academy, these videos are 3 to 5 minutes long in a series, right? They're easily consumable, you know. And I've been through the entire thing a couple of times. It's always a good refresher to go back in and pick up some stuff. You managers, if you're looking for something to talk about in a Monday morning sales meeting or one of your sales meetings, grab a couple of videos out of there, play them, and then just talk about them. I mean, just great content. There's even a sales manager section in the Velocity Academy that if you're looking to be, you know, put content together for what's the weekly meeting thing? The
Monday morning sales
workout.
workout.
Monday morning sales workout. You know, it just tees it up for you, does all the work for you, push play.
You just do one exercise a week and you go through that. Also, again, you have access to all the books, all the audios. Yeah. Somebody asked earlier about cold calling. Again, there's a book and an audio in there. A lot of great content in there.
It hits all those learning areas, right?
Yep.
So if you're a reader and you want to read stuff, you can download the books.
Right.
All your 16 books now at this point. Yeah? You can download all that, and depending on how you want to learn, you can learn that way. The other reason, I think, just to give a little color to why Victor's here. So I've been a sales manager in this company since 1997, and at a point in time, back almost 12 years now, Victor, I got into a position where my folks were tired of hearing me. And almost like, what do you mean? No commentary, please. Okay. I'm sharing my soul with them.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So they got tired of hearing me, and I'm like, how do I invigorate this group that was doing very well, but they needed a little bit more. So the folks that know me, I'm out on YouTube trying to find somebody. I put in Sales Gurus and found Victor, traded a couple of direct messages with him, found out he was living, right up the road, like 25 minutes from the home office. And we connected, and we used Victor in our advanced sales classes we did in the old North Atlantic division. That's where we had folks that have been here for 6 months doing well, and we wanted to get them like sales 202 instead of 101. So we had these classes. We brought folks in from all over the region, and I would have Victor come in and spend 2-3 hours with them, and his calling card was blocking objections. And every one of the guys that went through it, and the gals that went through it, Celeste went through it, Sire, Matt Donnelly, all these guys they're leaders, they talk so much about the impact that session had on them. So get into that, and that blocking the objections is just crazy valuable. I'll just kind of endorse what you said there. The other piece that I really like in the persuasion tab is the customer says, right? Yeah. Customer says this, and there's like 40 of them that you script out the answers. You've written the scripts. Right. You go in there and you just figure them out for yourself. Well, I got to talk this over with my wife. I got to talk this over with my boss. Whatever. And the responses are there written out. All you got to do is organize it and personalize them for yourself.
Correct.
How you would say it, right? not Victor speak, but how you would say it. And
Right.
Just crazy value. So I'm just happy. Again, the instruction to the RSMs and the salespeople on the call, get your email. That's all I need is your email address to your sales manager, and he will get it to me, and we will bombard Victor's daughter, Camille, who kind of runs the shop for Victor, and get you all added. The other thing I would tell you is when they send the link, when Camille sends you the link to the academy, it gets spammed in our company email. So you just make sure that that you check your spam, you check your junk file, and find it. Open it up and send it to your regular email. So
Copy.
yeah, so I think that's great. What else? Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, just some quick housekeeping stuff, and then we'll get you out of here. There was a rodent email that was sent out, a rodent exclusion email that was sent out to every one of our customers that don't have exclusion services or anything like that. It went out Monday night, and I'm a customer in a couple of places, one in 2 different houses, and it hit my email inbox. I think it offers a $100 discount on that, so it's top of mind when you're out there doing the PC no TCs and doing your re-inspections. Your customers are receiving that. I know the email they sent on the gutter protection and that kind of exclusion a couple of months ago generated a whole bunch of sales. I mean, even some folks that called in and said, hey, I want some insulation, if it was an insulation email, or I'd like you to come take a look at my gutters. So that's top of mind with your customers. It just hit them Monday, so get after that. The podcasts are coming. Victor, it was announced this week
Yes.
that Chicago, your homebound base,
Okay.
is the rattiest city in the United States.
That's cold, Ed.
How you feel about that? You can't even deny it.
They used to be big. I remember did I ever tell you we got one stuck in the wall of our house and we couldn't get it out and it just kind of rotted there
Ooh, I
for
bet
and
you-
then
I bet you that
it
was
was
a good
kind
smell.
of it was interesting.
No, but that city, the rattiest cities, there's 50 of them they post. You're probably living, there's a good likelihood you're living in
Mark
one.
Fry just put in a graphic there. Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
But yeah, talk about that, right? I don't know if you saw this, but we're living in the rattiest city in the U.S., right? Or the second, or the third,
I
or
can
the
see
15th.
the sales pitch. Do you know you live in the rattiest city?
That's how we want to do it.
All right.
Hey, the last thing I got for you, and Stormy's going to tee up the QR code. Obviously, with these hurricanes that have kind of run through, not just the southeast, pushing up into areas where hurricanes typically don't do damage, have been really devastating, particularly to our people. We have an Orkin Pro whose house just got wiped out, gone. Like Victor, it was like
Wow.
They found pieces and parts of it. It got up in Nashville, just got completely taken off its foundation and just disappeared. There are so many of our folks that are hurting in that aspect. So I would like you to do this. I would try to convince you. Jerry Galoff sent a message on it out the day before yesterday, asking and pleading for more help. It's a pretty big fund. It's a very healthy fund, but we're going to deplete that quite a bit. Help your teammates out. Just if you can go on there when this QR code pops up, take a picture of it, scan it in. You can do it payroll deduction, and if you're already doing payroll deduction, I would encourage you to see if you can squeeze another $1 out of your paycheck. Out of each one of your paychecks, have it come out that way. You can make a single donation to that fund, or you can even do PayPal. They'll take PayPal payments. So please, I encourage you to help the ones that are in need. Again, every $1 of that goes to a Rollins employee. There's no fees. All the folks that work that whole program are volunteers. We staged, I told you this yesterday, we had staged all over the Southeast, generators, gas, water, and the teams did a phenomenal job. The divisions did a phenomenal job, moving that stuff into the markets that needed it. So just think about your peers, and if you love what you do and you like how much money you make here, see if you can give them a buck or two. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
So let's get out of here. I mean,
All right.
Again, just great results. Let's fourth quarter, right? Throw those 4 fingers up and let's get after it.
Do it.